Hey there, Pine Cones. It's Keely from Pine Needles Quilt and Sew in Rochester, Minnesota. I was putting together a little video to start a series about little sewing tips and tricks, especially for beginners. And so I was cutting my squares that I'll be using in the demonstration video. And I didn't follow the rotary cutter rules. And here we go. One trip to urgent care and my finger glued back together. And here we are. So I decided I would start with a rotary cutter video so that you would not make the same mistake I did. And now I've been sewing and rotary cutting for a very long time. It does not matter how long you've been doing this. Actually, it's probably worse for those of us who have been doing it a long time, because we are the ones that tend to get lax and tend to take shortcuts and tend to do things like hold it down and put our finger out while looking the other way and whoops, you're in urgent care. So I wanted to just really quickly show you a few things. Things that you really want to pay attention to when you're using your rotary cutter, even if you are a seasoned rotary cutter user. So here is an Olfa rotary cutter from Pine Needles. And the nice thing about all rotary cutters is they have this safety. This keeps you from cutting yourself on the rotary cutter blade, which is very, very sharp. It is meant to go through fabric like butter. So all you have to do is slide it open to use it. And anytime you put it down, let's say I cut, and now I'm going to move these fabric pieces away, I should get in the habit of locking that and then setting it down so I don't go to reach for it and cut myself. A couple of other kinds you might find around. These are a few that I have in my own stash that I've gathered over the years. And they come in all different sizes. It's wonderful. I use this one for cutting around curves in clothing. And this one, big sucker, is the one that I cut myself on today trying to do this. Same thing, safety. And you push and this little button slides. This is another Olfa. And it is cool because it locks so that if you have little kiddos around, they can't accidentally see this button and just slide it. This can lock closed. So you push the button and that opens it up, and you can push the button again to lock it out and then lock it safe. It's nice. So for our purposes, I'm just going to show you here. So I'm going to take my cutter and my nice ruler here, and I've got my fabric laid out, and I'm just going to show you the proper way to actually do this. So 7, 8. I'm cutting 8-inch squares, and my ruler is not quite long enough or wide enough to be the whole 8 inches. So I'm just going to line it up with the lines on my mat. Normally I like to use my ruler lines because the acrylic is not ever going to change size, but for this I'm going to be okay. So what I did wrong is I kind of had my finger right here, not paying attention. So do make sure that you're holding down with even pressure on the ruler without any appendages in the way. You're going to get over top of your cutter, and you see it's got a little grip area so that you can put your finger down on it, and you're over top of it. And I'm going to always cut away from myself right up next to the ruler. And so I am over top of it like this. You can see straight down. I'm not going to tilt sideways to see where I am because that can damage your blade and make it harder for you to get a good cut. But I am over top. I'm not cutting out like this, like a pizza cutter. I'm cutting straight down because that's where the weight of me is going to go. I'm able to press down there, and I'm able to be very secure with how I hold it. So then my nice even cuts, and this isn't quite 8 inches square. I've got some messy edge down here. So I'm going to line it up and just show you again. Oops. I'm not even Steven, so I'll move that one. And now a couple of the other things that people like to sometimes do, instead of actually moving that whole fabric piece, I have a lot of people that want to then say, oh, well, I need to cut down here. So I'm going to move the rule, I'm going to move this, and I'm going to hold it like this and cross my body. That, and see, I'm tall, I'm like 5'9", and I have the wingspan to do that. But even if you have the wingspan, don't do it. First of all, it's not ergonomically correct. And when you start doing kind of cross dance moves like this to make your cuts, you're going to end up cutting yourself, I promise. So I've got my 8 inches, and I'm going to hold it down evenly, no appendages. And I'm going straight over the ruler, cutting away from myself. And there, I've got my 8-inch square into the pile. Whoops, and I didn't follow my own rule. When you set it down, put the safety on. See, I'm learning too. I'll see you on the next video, and I hope you have fun rotary cutting, and no trips to the ER, no trips to the urgent care, no stitches, no glue. Have a good one.